Hi dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with a tutorial. I know I don't do these very often. I love watching them. I don't know what my problem is. I love watching them, and every once in a while I think, oh, that's fine, but if you're doing that for drag queen, it needs to be different. So today, I've been inspired by my good friend David Burkett, who sent me a fabulous collection from P. Louise, one of my new favorite companies. It's their Eyelash Collection. You can buy this on their website. I'm not sure how much it is. I feel like it's about between $60 and $80 Canadian, which means it's probably $10 American. And I mean, which works, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pair of lashes. So it works out to like $6 a pair. And if you're a buyer of eyelashes online, you know they can be quite expensive. Now, for drag queens, as you can see, like the lashes I have on, I made these. I put these together myself, and I'm going to show you how I do that with these. But I also thought I would talk to you about lash size, because size does matter. Let me tell you what. Now, I have on lashes that I've made. This is what my face looks like with my lashes on. And let me just tell you right now, when you're doing your makeup, if you think your makeup's going badly, always remember that the lashes are going to go on and everything's going to be filtered through them. So if you think you're doing a bad job, chances are it's not even going to be seen. Try and remember you're going to have lashes on, especially if you're doing drag lashes like this. Now let me just pull, I'm just going to pull this side off. So this just pulled off my eyeliner, as you can see. I'm going to touch up my eyeliner just so it's less distracting. And so this is the difference between a drag face without a lash and with a lash. So you can see how important that difference is. It really helps streamline the eyeliner. It helps that outer corner get more definition. So it's a little odd. With this eyelash off, I'm going to talk to you about drag lashes. Now, the first thing is 301s. These are 301s. These are quite large. They are about 25 millimeters long. The average big girl lash is about 20. It's also quite a long band. The nice thing with these lashes is that you can either cut them to fit your eyelid, or you can do what Trixie Mattel, some of the drag queens do, which is run the edge of that lash up into their eyeliner, and it really gives you a snatched eye look. I don't use regular eyelash glue with my eyelashes either, because my eyelashes are too heavy. I've got usually 2 or 3, maybe 4 pair when it's all said and done, put together in an eyelash. So I use weave bond. You're not supposed to. I've never had a problem with it. As far as drag lashes, if you're building up an eyelash or using maybe a custom made eyelash, they're quite heavy and you don't want to have that weight. So this is just one pair of 301s. I just take this lash. You want the weave bond to be tacky. This will dry on your lid in 30 seconds, but you have to give it some tacky time. Tack tap. So yeah, so what I do is I place the eyelash just above my eyelashes on my eyeliner, right above, and then I just let that kind of sit there for a second and grab the inner corner of my eye, kind of. And then once that's kind of settled, I take the rest and I bring it along my eyelid. I bring it up into my eyeliner just a bit, because I don't like to look like I have droopy eyes. And one of the ways you can secure this is to use a hairdryer and blow them. And if you dry them on with a hairdryer, it blows them up, kind of like that, you know what I mean? And then they actually dry in a great angle. Now, I haven't used 301s on their own in a long time, but as you can see, that's pretty good right there. That's on. As you can see from the side view, you can see the lash, but full on, it's not really there. Like, I would want this to be up higher. Sometimes what's good is to put the glue on the top side of the lash and then stick the corner up. Do you see how that swoops the eye up more? Once you do that, you have to kind of come in underneath the lash and just make sure your eyeliner is good and solid. But yeah, that's a normal eyelash. But can you see the difference? Like, this one's much more dramatic. I look more like, and then this one's more like, on a drag queen, it looks more natural, like I don't have any eyelashes on, but there's clearly mascara or something going on. That's a 301. Now, most people, when they're using one of these, they'll stack 3 or 4. And the way they stack them is that they'll stack one, and then the next one on top just a little further down, and then the next one on top a little further down, so it really comes out. And then to hide all of those bands on the top, when you're blinking, they put another pair back to the starting line to hide, to mask all of that. And you'll see that in a minute when I start to show you how I do this. Now, in the P. Louise package, there are some good lashes in here. These two at the top for me are the best. This one here has like almost a spider leg effect, very much like Valentina, Deja Sky, drag queens like that do that like that. And I like that lash. Like, as you can see with my eyelash, it's got spikes to it. Now here's the difference between those lashes. Let me do it this way. Those lashes and this one that I made. You see how much bigger this one is? Like, even compared to a cut there, I just stick it there. Like, it's a big eyelash. Like, that's, if you saw that on the floor, you'd think it was a spider and you'd kill it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this pair. This is the biggest pair in the, that's not true. This is another big pair here, and they're thick. So why don't I grab these ones here? Get some glue on here. I've never used P. Louise eyelashes before. They look nice, but I mean, I can just tell from looking at this, it's too small. I feel like, you know, when you go to Ardell and you get those little eyelashes and they're all like wispies or whatever they're called. Look how easy that went on. It's so small. You can't even see it on my face. If I turn sideways, you can kind of see that there's an eyelash there, but comparatively, it's not the same at all. As you can see, you can do a drag face with a small eyelash. Like, this is not the worst eye in the world, but there's no drama to it. There's no, you know, bing, 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 bing type of thing. And I don't know what that means, but I think you understand the mood I'm trying to reach for. And you can see a lot of the lid where the cut crease is, and it's just a very exposed eye. Now I'm going to show you how I stack lashes. And for this, you are going to need your eyelash tray from a pair. I cut the foot off. As you can see, there's a foot on here, and what that does is, the only reason that's there is so the eyelashes don't get crushed. But I cut that foot part off, and I use I keep a hold of an eyelash tray so I can put my eyelashes in and stack them and glue them in here. Just makes it easier. The other thing you need are, of course, scissors. I like little ones because you're doing little sharp cuts. Like, you don't need a big pair. It just becomes cumbersome. You can use tweezers. These are great tweezers because they have like a flat bottom on them. Do you see? They're not just pointy. They kind of are like a check mark. And I like that because you can put an eyelash on with that. But even though I have really big sausage fingers, I just find sometimes a tweezer doesn't help. So it's really a choice, up to you. You also need, even if you use eyelash glue to put your eyelashes on, Weave Bond is great because gluing hair together is what Weave Bond's for. For anyone using extensions, you can use Weave Bond. You can glue it literally. You part your hair, you can put a run of glue in, stick a track on, and it'll stay there. And then you need eyelashes. Now, I like to use something like this. If you can see this, these are eyelashes from Amazon. I think this whole tray, I think there's 10 pair in here as well. Maybe $9, maybe $9. And you could probably just stack these and make a thick enough pair. What you want is just to see the eyelash. But I like to use this as a base because it's not too long, but it also gives me something to stick stuff to. And then it's always good to have another pair, maybe a little shorter, to go on top to hide all the joins that you've created. I use the 301 lashes. As you can see, they're very spiky looking, and I like to cut the spikes out individually and then use them to stack individually as spikes. So we're going to need a pair of those. You can use as many pair of those, cut them up as however you want, and that's all you need. So let's get to it. Okay, so we have our tray here. I'll just put it like that. If you take your tweezers and get right close to the lash band, you can literally... Ugh. The glue they put on these lashes is unnecessary. And then I'll just stick that pair there. Ugh, see, I just ripped that one. These are just awful. You just have to be very careful when you're taking your lashes off. You see, because we're stacking, it doesn't matter. And you want to make sure that you have a set. And the way you can tell that you have a set is you've got the longer edges out here and then the shorter edges in there. Now, the first layer that I'm going to put on solid. These are the Spread Your Wings and Fly Eyelash Vault from P. Louise. And I'm going to take the Bikini, or the Blinkin' Beauty. This is called the Blinkin' Beauty. And again, I'm just going to grab these, but I'm just going to be very gentle with these because these are more expensive lashes. And then, so here we go. So what I like to do is, I like to work left and like on the set. So there, that's the right eye. And that's the left eye. What I like to do then is take my weave bond and I put a daub of it here, just like that. You don't need a lot because it will dry out. Now, normally when you're putting glue on a lash, you put it along the outside edge. I like to actually put it on the flat side because we're going to be lying these down. And so what I do is I take the lash and instead of putting it right next to it, I like to put it further down. Do you see? This is further, but this is where the tweezers can come in handy. I get them there and I press them down so that they make contact with the lower lash. And do you see how they're not right up against each other? Like right on the spine. I've created this so when you look at the two of them, this one's further out than this. And we can still see the shape of this lash. And, you know, if that's all you wanted to do, that's already made this lash. If you see the difference between this lash and this one without anything behind it, this is already a thicker lash. We've already done a good job. I'm just going to put this glue on this way. I think that this is just a better way to do this here. We'll need it. But do you see how I'm getting all of the lash hairs kind of coated in the glue? And then again, just right there, starting on the outside edge, just out from the lash line a little. And you can see already they're starting to look thicker and more interesting. So these are the 301s. Let me just move these out of the way just for a second. I'll just put them there. These are the 301s. You can see how much bigger these are. I mean, they're huge, but they're not thick. This is the thing. They're huge, but they're not thick. They're like a natural row of eyelashes, just one. But the thing that's interesting about these is that, you know, you get all sorts of lashes like the foam inks. They're very fluffy and they're very thick. So those are what we're trying to recreate, but in a drag style. So here we go. You can see these different shapes. So I'm going to cut that one off here. There's one. And then I'm going to go there. There's another one. I'm just cutting in between the spikes, like where the eyelash is at its smallest. And we'll just do that one too. So that's a good one right there. Do you see how we have a longer sprig in the middle and then two shorter ones? Whereas something like this, do you see how this is kind of up as high? So what I like to do, let me do this with the tweezers so you can see what I'm doing. So what I like to do is I like to trim this. Do you see how I'm getting that lower? I just want this to be the feature. So there's 4 there off of that lash, and then this one here, it's the same thing. So I'm going to leave those full ones there just for later. So once we have all of our spikes, this is the best thing about liquid latex is when you rub it, it peels off. Like it looks like it's going to be a mess, and then you end up with a little ball. So it's actually quite good to clean. So let me hold this way so I can see what I'm doing too. You can see on this that we've already got some spike shapes, or at least some groupings of lashes because of the lash that we're using. So what I like to do, again, I just put this here. Not too much of a daub because it will dry, and then when it dries, you're just going to have a waste of glue if you have a lot left. So I take the eyelash bit, pinch it, and then I run it through the glue. And again, I'm not shy about it. It goes quite far up the eyelash. And I'm going to start in the middle. And just where that other lash band is, I'm going to push that there. I'm going to use my tweezers to really push it down. And you see how now we've got one long sprig there? I'm now going to take something similar. I think this one's similar. And I'm going to do it. I like to do them at the same time. I feel if I do one and then the other, I get unbalanced lashes. We're just going to go up against that lash band, right about in the middle. Take the end of the tweezers and press down. Do you see? And then I'll take here's another sprig right there. Run it through the weave bond, and I go to the next place. And you see how that is now? There's 2, and then I'll take, let me see this one. Sometimes you have to lie them like this so you can see how wide they are. No, I'll take that one. And run it through there, and I'm just going to put it in there. There. And now we'll do this again with the outer edge. I just keep going until we're at the outside edge. And then see, this can be very fussy. The way I do it's very fussy. If you leave the lashes and just stack them as full sets, it's way easier, trust me. I do it this way because I really like that spider leg effect. And I feel like on my face, it leaves some visual space for your cut crease. Tap it down. Do you see how we're getting, you can start to see it's coming together. So now we'll do one last set for the outside edge. Just run that right in there. Get that glue on there, and then stick this one right on the outside edge. Sometimes you have to fight with the other lash because it's so curly. So there's the outer edge. That's fine and dandy. Now, with these smaller ones, this is a little easier. I like to take like maybe that one there. That much. Same with here. I'm just going to go to maybe there. See, these aren't exactly the same, but they're close. And then what I like to do is take the whole thing. Keep in mind the short, see how this is going down and down, the shorter ones on the inside. So I want to match that to this lash here. So what I do is I then take glue along the whole band, and I'm just going to stick this right there. You don't want your inner corner to be too full of lashes because it'll actually, impede your vision. It can be quite annoying. So you just want to make sure that you don't blind yourself, or at least keep yourself from seeing what's going on too much. But this I'll just put there, push it down, there. Now I could leave that, or I could then take these two segments here, and what I like to do is I'm just going to trim out a couple more sprigs. There's another sprig right there, and then one last one, and I'll do the same here. But what I like to do is, like, see, this is a really good one here because it's wide, and I can put this again in the middle, for instance, and really build up the lash. So I'm going to take this one, get my glue on it. I'm just going to hold the rest of this down. I want to put this, I think I'm going to put this here. Do you see how that filled out that sprig a bit? It's hard to tell because these are curved, but there. And then there's another wide one. I don't feel like I need that as much on this one, so I'm just going to take something like this one here, run it in. I'm going to add this here. And again, I'm just matching these up to the lash band that's in there because I know these lashes are longer. But do you see how specific that makes that? And then pushing it down. There. I'm happy with that. That's fun. Now I could throw these two away. I don't need them. I could add them in and be overzealous, but I don't need them. So you can see, let me hold these up. You can see where all of the glue is, where all of the bands are, how they all join. You don't want that. It's ugly. So I'm just let me just take this ball of, see how great that is? I love this. This is the best thing about Weave Bond, is just how easy it is to clean off. You just end up with these little pills and it's done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take now a smaller pair, and I'm going to use this pair to hide all the work we've done. So again, I just come in, try and grab the lashes at the edge. Once I can get my tweezers on the lash band itself, then I pull them off. There's one, and I know that that's for this eye because it's wide to small, and lashes are always put in the tray left and right anyway, so you never have to really figure it out, but I like to keep them side by side so I don't get confused. I'm prone to being confused. So again, I'm going to take this one. Let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And so I'll take my Weave Bond and let it kind of get a bubble started on the end. There we go. And then I'm going to run this between the lash band and the actual fibers of the lashes. I want the lashes itself to also grip. I'm not worried about the edge. Do you see how that's all along the lashes? Maybe we need a bit more there. But see how that is? And then what I do is take that lash. I like to get it right up against there. And this is fussy, but get this one on here too, and then you just press it all down. And that's hidden all of that. Do you see the difference between the two? This one's kind of chunky and weird, and now this one's smooth and lovely, which was my drag queen name in high school. And then we'll take and do the same thing here. Again, move all of this out of the way so you can see. I'm literally getting a ball of glue started on the edge of that tip. Ooh, sorry, just draw it across the whole lash. It doesn't matter if you have too much, but if you have too much, it will take a while to dry. Not too much, because Weave Bond dries really quickly, but So again, I'm going to put that into the inside corner and try and match them up as much as I can, and stack the lash band on top of the other lash band that's closest to the form. This is one of the reasons I keep these trays, or at least one on hand, because it keeps the lashes in a shape. Because when you put this glue on, you are going to make the lash a little stiffer. And when it's a little stiffer here, it can be hard to put the lash on your eye shape, depending. But I like that. That's good. Now I like to trim them. Do you see how these two are kind of going into each other? There's no way around it. So I'm just going to trim a bit off so they're not going right into each other. And this one here seems a little heavy, so I'm going to try and trim and make more of a point. Do you see? And I like to, like here, this here, I'm just going to take these in the middle a bit, just to separate them. Do you see how I'm doing that? You can maybe get a couple more. And there you go. And now, once you let them dry long enough, I take my tweezers again against the tray, and then I like to get right underneath there, and I pinch the whole thing, the whole eyelash, all the layers, and I pull it off. And do you see all the glue? And then I just like to let that rest. And same here, I'm just coming up underneath it. It's actually better to come from the other side because all the lashes are longer here. Push it right down, the tweezers, and then very gently but firmly pull the lash away. And then you can press these all with your fingers just to make sure that they're all done. There's one, not too bad, and there's two, not too bad. And then just looking at these now, because there are some hairs on the table and everything, like, do you see how this one comes down and this one doesn't as much? So I'm just going to fix that. I want to just trim this one here just a little. And then this one as well, just a little. And you see how they're more, they match more. There's also an errant hair there. You just cut that off. And there you go. That's how I make my lashes. Let me get that out of the way. Those are the new pair. I'm going to save them. I have a little eyelash box. Sometimes eyelashes come in the most unnecessary packaging. And this is from Be Perfect, and it's, to me, unnecessary. These are a smaller pair of lashes I made. Same process. They're just smaller. I just didn't go as big with them. I put less fronds, do you see? But they're thick. When you look at them compared to like another eyelash, these small ones are thick, and you still get that visual of an eyelash. Do you know what I mean? Putting on eyelashes is hard. I don't care who you are. I don't care what people have told you. It's awkward and weird. Nobody does it. It's not a natural thing to do, so stick something on your eye. So the best way I've always found is to hold your mirror kind of down so that you're looking down, but you want to look down and still see your face. And then you take your eyelash, and what I do is I take the inner corner and I place it where I want it to go. And I try and get some tension on there, like make sure it's making contact with my eyelid. And then I give it a tug to make sure it's stuck. And then I hold the rest and I put it on. Like that. And I just hold it. And then I'll go through. I like to push the lash on from the curve of the eyelash itself. There you go. And do you see how different your face looks with eyelashes on? Like there's no eyelash. There's an eyelash. And putting them on equal, like, you can live and die trying to balance your eyelashes. Like, just accept every time you put them on to just do it as close. So when you hold your lash down, I find that helps you see where you put the other one. You can see more or less. And then again, I like to make contact with that inner corner and wiggle it, make sure it's really adhered, and then pull the other along. And then I push from the curve of the lash to get that lash band to stick down. I think that looks pretty even. It's not the best eyelash application. But again, I'll tell you, eyelashes aren't easy. You have to not be afraid to go in with your finger and get close to your eye. If you are somebody who doesn't like things in their eye, then false eyelashes might not be for you. But I know people that put the glue on their lashes and then set the lashes down on their own lashes. That's fine. There you go. If you have never made your own lashes, then I really do suggest you get cheap. Dollar stores have lashes. You can take the wispiest little lash. If I took all 3 of those and stacked them, they would make one good substantial pair of drag lashes. Maybe not the best, but it would be better than trying to pass off one of these pair. Here's another style. Take this lid off. This is another style of lash. They're crisscrossy. This is good for either using as a base or on top, it doesn't matter. But the nice thing about that eyelash is that there's a lot of surface there to glue new lashes to. And I'm not sure, I have a friend, Lisa Oki, who gave me a bag, like literally, like right here. This is just part of it. She gave me this huge box of, that's where I got these lashes from. I have, I've got 8 boxes of these plus this, and that's just part of what she sent me. Like, these are lashes she wasn't using, she couldn't use them, asked me if I wanted them, and I'm like, yeah, I'll fix them up. And the nice thing there is, even though there's a lot of lashes there, I could use just these lashes, as I say, to make one pair of new lashes. And as I say again, I like to have the spikes, the little spiky doos. I just think that they look more interesting. So I cut mine up, but you don't have to cut them up. You can do them however you want. But if you're going to try it, do get cheap ones and just experiment, see what you like. You can use Lash Glue if you want. I like the Weave Bond because it's actually meant for stuff like this, especially when I'm assembling the lashes. If you put a lot of lashes on, like Trixie Mattel, she puts on 7 pair. It becomes quite heavy. Even for your eyes, it can drag your eye down, and that's why she puts them up actually into the crease of her eye. They're up so high, and then they kind of sit on her eyelid and then come out. But the Weave Bond's the better adhesive. Lash Glue is fine, but I find Lash Glue can be too weak an adhesive for a big proper drag lash. 301s cost about $7 to $15. I get mine from, in Toronto, I get them from a makeup supply place. So I get them at about $5 a pair. They give me a deal because I'm a performer. But you can go to like a costume house, like a pub, like, you know, especially at Halloween, like they rent costume, or they sell, you know, and you buy all of your Krylon and everything makeup there at Halloween. You can go in somewhere like that and spend $15 for one pair of these. At Elegant Lashes, you can get one pair for $7 and 2 for $10, I think. I know there's a deal if you buy 2, but the thing that they have at Elegant Lashes, which I love because I cut up my lashes, they have irregulars. They have irregular lashes. You can see these look very different. These lashes are a little more even. and these ones look more spiky. So these are just lashes that aren't up to their standards. They don't sell them to the public necessarily, but they will sell you these cheaper. Maybe a year before the pandemic, I bought 50 lashes for $100. It was on sale. Normally it's 150, and I think I got an incredibly cheap deal. And because of that, it made it much easier for me to use an normally expensive lash, because I'm getting them now at like a third the cost. And I'll tell you, I still have them. I still have maybe 10, 20 pair left. I'm going to put a link to elegantlashes.com down below, because they're worth looking at. If you love lashes and you just don't have a place near you to buy lashes anyway, Elegant Lashes is great. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to help if you are finding what I've said confusing or you're having trouble yourself. Everything that I've got, including the weave bond, the scissors, except for the Elegant Lashes, the 301s, everything else, oh, and the P. Louise lashes, everything else is off Amazon. I would just say search Amazon for false lashes, scissors, weave bond. This is Super Bond, weave bond, whatever you want to call it, hair bond glue. Just search that on Amazon, and that's what the package looks like, half red, half blue. There are other products, but this is the one that just seems to be everywhere. This is the one, whenever I see a drag queen doing a tutorial, this seems to be the one they have too. So all on Amazon, just Google search it. I would give you links for all of that, but I'm in Canada, and it means that if you went to my link, you wouldn't necessarily be able to find it to buy in the country you're in. So just search where you are, and you should be able to organize yourself into a nice little weekend of eyelash making. And who knows, maybe you get so good at it that you start selling them. I'll buy a pair if you make a nice enough pair. I'm just saying. Until next time, miss me. Mwah, seriously.